I'm not a lawyer, but did you know that before Jay-Z was included in this amended Diddy lawsuit, the firm that filed the lawsuit was sued for extortion by a John Doe? A little bit of context. The extortion lawsuit was filed on November 18th by a John Doe who is described as a celebrity and public figure who resides in Los Angeles, California, and he's bringing this lawsuit under the pseudonym John Doe to avoid the irreparable harm to reputation that he seeks to prevent through this action. The plaintiff will disclose his identity to the court through a sealed in-camera filing or as the court otherwise deems appropriate. Now, in regards to this extortion lawsuit, Tony Buzbee posted a statement saying that Jay-Z previously denied being the one who sued me and my firm. Buzbee goes on to call the lawsuit frivolous and clearly believes that the John Doe is Jay-Z. So, of course, I read through the lawsuit, so let me tell you about it. The lawsuit goes into who they say Tony Buzbee is, and child, they had a lot to say. It starts off saying that Buzbee and his firm are shamelessly attempting to extort exorbitant sums of money or else claiming that they will publicly file horrific allegations against John Doe, including multiple instances of rape of a minor, both male and female, unless he complies with their demands. Again, this was filed 3 weeks ago, so it was before the amended complaint was filed today. Then the suit says that Buzbee and his firm have a history of extorting money from high-profile individuals by threatening baseless legal action, including a situation from 3 years ago when the FBI apparently opened an extortion investigation in connection with Tony Buzbee and a client he was representing. The client, through the firm, was suing a football player named Deshaun Watson for SA, and while the lawsuit doesn't say what exactly happened with that FBI investigation, it does say that Deshaun Watson was never criminally prosecuted because 2 separate grand juries rejected the charges, which John Doe and his team say prove that the claims were baseless. This lawsuit also notes that Tony Buzbee and his firm are currently representing clients who are suing both Yella Beezy and Chris Brown, which again, they say goes to show that this firm represents clients who target or seek out high-profile individuals that they can get a payday from. From there, the lawsuit goes into one of Tony Buzbee's own situations, saying, quote, Tony Buzbee was arrested in March of 2016 for driving under the influence, but Harris County District Attorney Devon Anderson personally dismissed the case after Buzbee completed pretrial intervention. The dismissal raised significant concerns because having the district attorney sign off on the dismissal was exceedingly rare. And while the pretrial intervention program generally lasts a year, Tony Buzbee's case was dismissed after 8 months. Then there's even more claims about Buzbee taking on clients whose goal is to extort high-profile people, including an NFL player whose name is Brandon McManus? I don't know how to say his last name, but the overall takeaway is, according to this lawsuit, Tony Buzbee and his firm have a pattern of bringing about outrageous allegations against high-profile people and then using intermediaries to send threatening demand letters to those high-profile people. And if those people refuse to pay, the firm then uses the media to try and destroy those people's reputations. So specific to this instance, the lawsuit says that Tony Buzbee and his firm have basically tried to capitalize on the bravery of the first 9 victims that came out and sued Diddy by creating a hotline and then advertising that hotline and saying that basically there's money to be made if you have a claim against Diddy and you don't even have to reveal who you are. But the problem, according to this lawsuit, is now that Diddy's behind bars, he won't be making payments to any of these clients anytime soon. So Buzbee and his team have devised a scheme to obtain payments through threatening anyone with ties to Diddy and that has means and a reputation of their own. So someone like Jay-Z, for example. The suit says that in November of 2024, Tony Buzbee and his firm made demands to John Doe and his team, and the demands included allegations that John Doe had raped multiple minors, both male and female, who had been rugged at parties hosted by Diddy. The demand that they sent had a time clock on it and a threat that they would take a different course of action if John Doe and his team did not commit to a confidential mediation to resolve this delicate and important matter by the deadline. Now, it does say that John Doe and his team reached out to the Buzbee firm to better understand the basis for these allegations and whether there was any evidence or real people behind the claims. And although the Buzbee firm did reveal some details related to what the client had to say, the firm would not provide information on how they were validating what the client was saying unless Jay and his team into a confidentiality agreement, and apparently they weren't willing to do that. This lawsuit says that these false allegations have caused John Doe emotional distress, including anxiety and fear for himself and his family, and that these heinous and false allegations could permanently tarnish his reputation, subjecting him to public scorn and condemnation. The fallout would irreparably harm his personal and professional life, destroying his career, legacy, and emotional well-being, while causing significant emotional and economic suffering. And so this John Doe is suing Tony Buzbee and his firm for extortion and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Child, I'm finna sue for emotional distress. I'm stressed out.